She worked with some of the biggest names in the region like Netflix, Kareem, and walked away from everything to start something on her own. So I'm really excited to have today's guest. Anika, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. Now we're going to dive straight in here.
Please.
And I want the down and dirty, unfiltered, quick version.
Go for it.
Who are you?
Well, I am Anika, as you said. I'm the founder of NikNak PR. We have been going for almost 2.5 years now. I grew up in Dubai. I've been here for 26 years, Saudi before that. Born in Australia. Mum's English, dad's Danish. But yeah, I've been in PR for over a decade. And as you said, worked with some really great agencies and worked with some really amazing clients in the past, but then moved to, as you say, decided to step away and try and do it on my own.
Well, first things first, you're Australian, so we were already going to connect obviously. But PR is, the name of the game for you, which is really exciting. And I've got lots of questions actually, because it's one of those words, but what does it mean and what does it do for people and what works and what doesn't work and how do you get into it and should you get into it? So we're going to kind of touch on all those sorts of things today. But why NikNak firstly?
Okay, so NikNak actually, so one, it kind of sounds like my name. So it's Anika and NikNak is like a bit of like a mix around. But actually the real reason it's called NikNak is because, so the story is, it's like when you go on holiday and you go to go buy a souvenir, you buy little knickknacks,
yes.
Right? So for me, I thought, well, PR is kind of like these little knickknacks because we're trying to get people to remember you and have this brand awareness, and it's about placing you in different places, and so the little knickknacks of your placements. So it's kind of about that essentially. It's how I came up with the name.
And like, was it something you kind of Googled? And like, I remember when I did my very first business, I had this book and I wrote down every single name I could think of. And I must have had like 7 pages. And then I had to, dwindle down.
Yeah.
So dwindle or dwindle?
Dwindle.
Well, I dwindled. I don't know what you do.
Down. I like it.
I dwindled down to 3 names, and then I Googled to see if they were taken and all those sorts of things. Because I felt like they really had to resonate and have some sort of connection with me, like you're saying with the NikNak thing as well. And it's kind of similar to your name. And I like that idea. But, when you kind of settled on that final NikNak, how did you do that? Was it just you or were you asking people? Because I find that brand names are really hard to choose.
It is one of those things where when you're looking to make a brand name and you're trying to think of like, what do I want my agency to sound like and how does it represent me? And so when I was thinking about the name, in all honesty, it just kind of came to me and I just kind of was like, that's it. I stuck with it. I think I didn't overthink it and I didn't ask anyone else either, because I know that once you ask people, that's when you start questioning what you do it for or like why you've done it. You're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't. Oh, yeah, okay. And so I was like, no, that's the name. Nobody else gets to say. My best friend, his name's Nick, and he likes to think I've named after him. And I'm like, sure.
You can have some kudos, Nick.
If you want.
Just for you. Exactly. All right. So you've grown up in the Middle East since you were about 8 years old.
Yeah.
How do you think that impacts and how do you identify now that you've grown up here?
Honestly, so as I said, like I was born in Australia. My mom's English, my dad's Danish, but I've grown up here. And the Middle East is my home, 100%. There's when I think of home, I don't think of the UK. I don't think of Australia. I think of Dubai. Yes. I've been here for 26 years now. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. And for me, it is kind of a little bit of like I was one of the first third culture kids, essentially, as they say. I'm one of the OGs of Dubai before it, has grown to what it is today. And it's been so phenomenal to watch that growth and be a part of that growth.
It's huge.
And I think also it's been really fascinating because obviously, again, like when we moved here, it was so brand new. Nobody really knew where Dubai was. And then for me to grow up here, and then we also were, came back. So all of us went to university. A lot of my friends went to the UK, America, Canada. But a lot of us then came back. And I think that was when the transition became that Dubai was no longer just a transient city or the UAE itself was a transient country. It was a place that people have now started calling home, and for good reason. Like, I mean, it's a wonderful place. Honestly, I can't speak highly on it. I should be on the tourism board. But like, honestly, I love this country so much because I think like the rulers really know what they're doing. They really also embrace this whole culture, everyone's culture, and I absolutely love that element of it. And I think that's why also for me, like, I do consider this home because I've been surrounded by so many different cultures my entire life almost at this point, that, you know, I'm able to connect with so many people. And that's actually really important for PR. So almost has been really helpful as well, because I know different cultures because I went to high school with them and I've, you know, been around them. We celebrate everything. And I think that's been really helpful also in my career, essentially, as well.
And you do like to celebrate.
I do. My birthday especially.
Yeah. All right. So then how did you get into PR? Before you go straight into the PR piece, though, you've worked for companies like Netflix and Kareem. Like, they're huge companies, particularly here.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about how you got to where you are today into the PR world.
So originally I started actually in events, and I was working in events for a variety of different, I worked in Australia for a bit, and I was doing actually speed dating. I was a speed dater host.
That's a form of networking.
But I did, so it was marketing and events essentially I was doing. And then I moved back to Dubai, and I was like, and I was in the events industry in one of the top hotels here. And I was kind of starting to think, you know, especially because I was in my 20s at the time, I was missing out on going out. And like going out, my weekends were obviously taken because I was working in events and stuff like that. And I started thinking, I was like, do I want this as my career? And then eventually I was like, you know what, no, but I do love events. And I was really, I'm good at events essentially, but I really also I love writing as well. And so I was kind of thinking, I was like, what is it that I can do where I can do both? And my brother was actually the one that kind of turned around and said, he's like, well, why don't you do PR? And I was like, oh, I was like, yeah, you're right. And so I kind of was like, yeah, let's do that. And then I had been kind of obviously dabbling in marketing and PR within the events industry as well. But then I actually I applied for a job at an agency, which is actually notoriously really hard to get into agencies if you don't have agency experience, because it is, you know, a lot of work in comparison to being in-house. But I was actually given the opportunity by amazing company called Atleen, and which is now Atleen Reuter Finn, and I love the team that are there. I'm still very good friends with the founder, but they really gave me the opportunity to kind of excel and like really grow my skill set. And I was very lucky to have the mentors that I did from that agency essentially. And as I said, I go back to that office and, you know, I still see the people that I used to work with. And again, we worked on some amazing clients with them as well. And I was honestly very lucky to be a part of such a strong team and such an agency that had such a vision as well.
So what is PR?
Yeah, I get this question a lot. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's funny because everyone knows they need PR, but they never know what is exactly.
Or they think. Well, because I always think that all the celebrities have it, right? They're in the news, they're in the radio stations, the TV, and like old school or young Laurie thinks that PR is just media, like in getting in front of something and getting out there.
I think also like, I mean, you know, the TV show with Samantha Jones, like very much like also kind of made it look like we're doing parties all the time and it's fabulous and our lives are just going to the next hottest opening and all that stuff. And don't get me wrong, we do have elements of that for sure.
Do have that, yes.
You know, I love going to, you know, the industry awards and, you know, the publications awards that they have out here. They're fun. But the majority of our day is not actually that glamorous. It is sometimes I like to say we're like PAs for like, we're like almost like a PA for, you know, 10 different clients. But at the same time, so what we do is obviously we're building brand awareness, but it's through a variety of different pillars. So it also really depends on the brand. So it really depends on what you're looking to also create with your objectives. But for us, what we work in a variety of things. Obviously, the main bread and butter is, you know, getting coverage and writing press releases and writing features and thought leadership stuff in order to be able to get you into the publications and showcase your expertise, essentially. And then there's the next layer of being with profiling, which is where a founder is being more like put up in order to be able to be seen as a thought leader in their an expert in their field. And this can be done in a variety of ways. As I said, you can do like thought leadership features, or you can do interviews and commentary within, you know, articles and being a part of a panel, speaking opportunities. So, you know, name of anything you can usually do. And then we also, of course, do a lot of influencer stuff as well. We kind of moved into that realm with the social media. So originally that wasn't something, because, you know, they didn't exist until, you know, actually probably 10 years ago, the influencer rise. So we work with them a lot as well. That also, like, I mean, and it's a very big part of what we do now because everyone's on social media. So you can't limit yourself to just publications.
Is it so saturated? I have to ask you this because social media, like as you say, almost anyone can do anything these days, which I love. There's opportunity everywhere. But from an influencer perspective, here in the UAE, they have changed the rules a little bit and you've got to get licensing and all those sorts of things. So it does restrict people. And I noticed when, we've had some conflict recently in the region that a lot of the influencers actually left.
Yeah.
But that was also at the same time that the licensing came into play. Have you seen a shift there of some of the influencers moving on, or the pool kind of reducing a little bit?
I mean, yes, you do see that. I mean, during summer, a lot of influencers tend to go away anyway. So like because
it's hot.
Because it's hot, yeah. So it really depends on the season. But at the end of the day, there's so many influencers in general that even the ones that leave, there's going to be more that come in fill those places. So, and it's always nice to have actually like fresh new people that we work with, because don't get me wrong, we have ones that are, we work with very closely. We build our relationship. Again, PR is about building relationships as well. Like that's very much what we do. We have our relationships with the media. We have our relationships with the influencers. So we work with ones and we do have this like ones that we work with over and over again because we know that they're consistent. We know that they're going to give us the content that we're looking for.
Clients. When you say
no, for influencers, we work with influencers like gifting or providing them with a meal, like working with them, knowing that they're going to create that content for you that will showcase the client in the best way. That's really important. But as I said, like we love finding new ones as well. And there's so many, as I say, there's so many. And it also depends on the industry because not every influencer is going to fit into a certain brief. So if it's a lifestyle influencer, then yes, I'll probably more likely be like, would you like to go to an F&B? If it's a makeup artist influencer, I'm more going to be focusing on the beauty industry.
F&B is a food and beverage, like a hospitality kind of event.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you find these influencers or do they come to you, or is there a mix? Yeah, you go out searching. I'm waiting for your call.
Yeah, it's like I'm just sat by the phone.
Just waiting.
It's both. So we actively also go out and help to build our community and our network with them in order to obviously be able to service our clients in the best way. But then we also, of course, have influencers that are actively obviously wanting to be seen as well. And when they see an agency, they know that's where, we've got the stuff that they get gifted and stuff. So they're going to come to us as well. So it's a mixture of both, really.
Okay, so it's relationship building and brand awareness, essentially.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go back a little bit again, though. So before or when you decided to start NikNak, your own PR firm, how did you feel leaving something that was maybe a little bit more safe in a job? Like, what gave you the courage? What made you just go out there and just go, you know what, I'm leaving it all and I'm going to start something on my own? Because, and the reason I ask is that's what most people are afraid of. They have these ideas
it's not easy.
No.
You have the idea, as you were going to say, you have the idea and then you're like, ooh, but steady paycheck is always nice. And it's the unknown. It's like, how do you get clients? What do I do? And I never, like, this is my first business. So I'm still winging it. I don't know what I'm doing most of the time. I'm actively learning. And I do think I've been very lucky that I've worked throughout my career with a lot of kind of startups or beginner agencies, also in other industries as well, not just in PR. So for me, I think like I've had the guidelines, which I do use in my own agency now. But to go back to your question on how I started, I actually wanted to start NikNak PR probably 3 years before I even did it.
Okay.
I had the website, I had the email address, I had everything. I was ready to go.
Yeah.
But then fear took over and I was like, no, steady paycheck. So I was in another agency, I was working and stuff like that. But then eventually it does get to a point where you're kind of like, if not now, when? And, I'm not getting any younger. And also, I'm not going to lie, I was sick of making money for other people. I honestly was like, I want to make more than I'm making. I'm not getting the money that I want. How do I make the money that I want as well? And I also really wanted to make PR more fun and I wanted to make it a lot easier. And I think also like where we've established ourselves as well has been more within the founder and entrepreneur niche. And that's where we've kind of made our as I said, our niche essentially of where we do PR. We do a lot of PR for startups and founders.
Yeah.
I love working in that space. I love that we're growing something with other people and helping build their dreams as well as my own. And like, it is a really fun process. It is terrifying, but
is there anything that happened that nearly stopped you in your tracks? Like, and the reason I want to ask these sorts of questions is because there are so many women out there that want to start something. The fear is real and you've experienced it. So have I a million times. But what is that thing that like pushed you over the edge to go take a leap, take a jump and do it? And you've already said money, you know, you start to get, I think, a little bit resentful at times as well. And it just pushes you that little bit.
And sometimes you feel like also like when it comes to like they dangle the carrot of a promotion over you. I was like, and it's like when you get that dangled carrot constantly, you lose motivation. And it's one of those things where it's like, you know what, like I think I can do this. And I wanted to do it for a long time. And even before the 4-year, like the 3-year mark of like, you know, when I started thinking about it, I knew I'd wanted to do my own business before that, like from like my early 20s. I knew I wanted to do it. I just knew that I also had to make sure I had the skill set and I was able to do it. Like I wasn't under the delusion of thinking I can just do it because I've got willpower. No, when it comes to PR, you've got to know what you're doing. So I wasn't about to just do it for the sake of having my own company. Everyone can be an entrepreneur, and it did become a bit of a trend at one point, but I wanted to be able to like know, like the perfectionist in me was like, I'm not going to fail at this. I can't because I just can't disappoint myself that way.
And I guess image is the important thing. Like you are literally creating images and putting images of other people, which is, you know, brand awareness and things, or posturing people for certain titles or positions. You want to do the same thing for yourself, right? Is it like kind of lead by example or walk the walk, talk the talk?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like as they say, like when you're in PR, the hardest person to PR is yourself. And so like being in PR, like it is a new thing for me also to be like going on a podcast or like being on like social media and being really, you know, talking about PR and all that stuff. And again, having to create myself as my own industry leader or being seen as an industry leader as well. It is difficult because you are sat there and there is that imposter syndrome too. It's like, well, why do I think I can do that? And then of course you also like, I mean, I've been very lucky that I've had a lot of support from the industry as well. There's a lot of women in our industry that have literally are backing me, that have their own agencies, and they literally are like, and I never thought that I would have that backing. And once I saw, as soon as I went on my own, these women all of a sudden just came to me and said, I hear you're on your own, how can I help? And I was just like, what? I was like, thank you. Like, this is amazing. And I love that there was that support from all these women. And I think that's also been something that's really helped in building my agency, because it makes me feel like, okay, well, if they believe in me, why shouldn't I believe in myself?
Let me tell you a story. Let's see if you remember this. The first time I met you, I said to you, I'm thinking about doing X, Y, and Z, but I don't want to upset anyone. And you said to me, so what? Do it anyway.
Yeah.
And like literally, you might not remember it, but I do. No, and it was like, it was something holding me back through fear of people pleasing and, you know, making sure you're not stepping on anyone's toes. And what you and I both know is that there's plenty of space out there for 100%. Everybody to succeed.
100%.
But I just needed to hear that in that moment. And you actually said to me, so what? Go and do it anyway. I'm like,
cool. All right, Ma.
I grew. I was 6 foot tall when I walked out of there, and I did. And I like literally started things within 2 weeks or something like that. So
I love that, honestly. And it is one of those things where I do tell myself that all the time as well. Like I do have to tell myself, like, cause I mean, as I said, like I still have moments where I'm like, do I want to be doing this? This is a lot. Like, cause like, you're not only thinking about yourself anymore as well. Like, cause obviously I have, you know, employees as well. I have my team. Yep. So it's like, it's not just me that I'm thinking about now. It's also other people, their livelihoods, what they're doing. And it's a lot. And sometimes, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I do think like, would there be an easier path to go back to work in an agency? But then also I love the clients I work for. I love being able to choose who I work with. And it's one of those things where I won't have that flexibility if I go back to another agency. And yes, a steady paycheck is always a lovely thing to have. Mm-hmm. But I honestly feel like when you're building something that's yours, there's no level of satisfaction that is on par with that. Like if you're working in an agency. And yeah, I honestly think like I have had moments where I'm like oh, maybe I'll go back to agency, and I'm like, no, don't be silly. That's a silly idea.
But that's just a moment. But you know what? It's literally reflection. Everyone should do this anyway. Like, I mean, I work in quarters, you know, when I'm doing my planning for businesses and things. But you've got to reflect back first, because you can't see how far you've come. When you stop there, the whole reason you go, no, what am I thinking? I don't want to go back to an agency. The whole reason you say that is because you've done that reflection point and you've looked back and gone, oh, hang on a second, that was really cool. I did that. You know, you have all these motivating things, but often we don't remember them until you have those moments.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's one of those things where now when it comes to age, like I've seen the year-on-year growth as well. And like when I look at my, like the clients that we work with, the exposure that we're getting, the recognition we get from, you know, now when I say I'm like, you know, NikNak PR, people are like, oh yeah, I know your agency. I'm like that makes me like, I'm like, oh, me? Gee. Yeah, no, it's one of those things where I literally am like, this is nuts, but I'm like, I love that. Like, you know, it's something that I'm building. And like, again, the growth that we've had has been amazing. Like year on year, we've almost doubled. And I'm like, that's unheard of really. And like the fact that, and like, that's just, you know, now, and we're still growing. And I just love watching that.
Who's the most well-known person you've worked with?
Okay, well, obviously I worked with Netflix, and then so Mo Amir was somebody I love. He was honestly the nicest person I've ever met, and I really loved being able to support him because he came out here for the premiere of Mo season 2, and so I was consulting on this project, and they were literally like, so I was helping out. And honestly, he's the nicest guy. And then also, my old agency, the first agency I worked for, we used to do the PR. I did the PR for Forever Rose, and obviously Ibrahim Al Samadi, who's now on Dubai Bling.
Oh my gosh!
But he wasn't on Dubai Bling then, obviously. But like we honestly, so I've known him for years. I absolutely love him. He's so sweet, and yeah. So now, thank you, Ibrahim, for letting me have you as one of my famous people that I know.
True.
But yeah,
he needs to come to the next pop-up or next party that we go to.
100%.
And I want an invite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love his cafes too. That's
honestly,
so nice.
Yeah, no, I do as well. And I have to say, he is one of the nicest people I've met. Like, I honestly, from the moment I met him, like, I adored him.
That's the thing about here. A lot of people think that there's a stigma attached to the people that are here.
Yeah.
But people don't understand how nice everybody is and how helpful and supportive. And I think that's what really keeps people around in the UAE.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think it's one of those things where we really do want to create a community. It's not about who you know, or it is about who you know, but not in the sense of like, oh, I know this celebrity or I know that person. But your network is everything. But again, the beauty of the UAE is that we are wanting to help each other. And I think it's like, you don't see that in any other country. Like you go to London or the UK in general, you go to London mainly though, and like you want to try and make friends, or people are very like, I've got my friends, thank you. I saw it in Australia as well. Like, you know, having been born there, but I had not grown up there. I went back to Sydney in my 20s, and I remember trying to make friends with Australians, and they were like, yeah, I've got my friends though that I've grown up with. And you could see that they were like, I'll hang out with you, but I'm not going to hang out with you forever, sort of thing. And so it was very difficult. And that was one of the reasons I did move back to Dubai as well. Cause I was like, you know, I've got a great network here, and I love how, like, when I see someone that's new in Dubai, I know that my friends do the same. I actively turn around and say like, oh, how can I help you? Like, how are you finding it? Like, and
welcome to the UAE.
Welcome to the UAE. Like, you know, what can I do to help you?
Yeah.
And I don't expect anything in return. Like, there isn't like it's just being kind. And I love that element of the life here.
I know, I love it too. So, okay, I want to go back to, I'm really going into wins and failures with your business so far. Okay. That's kind of the track I'm looking at right now. So I'm kind of thinking, when you think about your biggest accomplishment, and it could be having worked with somebody that you've seen really soar, or that was just such a successful campaign or something like that, or an award maybe, or something like that. But what is it for you that you see is, you know, a couple of your biggest wins?
Okay, so we haven't got any awards yet, but I'd say definitely watching how we've grown, and like, you know, like the client base essentially. So obviously when we started, you know, we have a couple clients and it was just me. And I definitely, like, throughout, obviously now also, like even last year, like in summer, like, to be completely honest, I had like 2 or 3 clients and that was it. And I was literally like, oh, okay, like, is this gonna work? I need to make sure that I'm still making money in order to like pay my mortgage essentially. And then all of a sudden, like I hustled as well. I was like, we got to keep the hustle. But summer is notoriously slow or quieter, but not so much anymore. But it is usually a bit quieter. But I was like, you know, I'm going to continue doing what I need to do. And year on year now, like we literally have, you know, 8 clients. I was like, we've doubled, as I said, we've doubled in our profits. We've got also, like, I now have a team. Last year I did not, my team started in August. And yeah, so like, honestly, just those are the wins that I see. Working with really amazing women and men as well. We tend to work with more women, but we're not exclusive to women. But we work with some really amazing women and some really amazing founders. And I love the clients I work with. Like, and that's the whole point. I want to make sure when I am working, I'm enjoying it, because what's the point then? So I really love, those are the wins for me, I think.
Well, this is what I love, is that you're creating a lifestyle business, a business, one, that you're passionate about, and 2, fits into the lifestyle that you're wanting for yourself.
Yeah.
And of course, it's always hard at the beginning. Everyone knows that, but with consistency, you're starting to see the results.
Exactly.
But tell us a little bit about, what does hustle look like? Like, so when you're saying, you know what, you worked hard to double the clientele and things like that, what are you doing in those moments? Because this is, you know, that's a moment, that's like one of those pivotal moments, I suppose, where people can go back to the agency because it's just too hard and I need some security. And I completely get that, because times are tough. But again, you didn't do that.
No.
I've had many of those circumstances where I'm like, I need to make $700 more this month to pay the rent for my old gym, you know, back in Australia.
Yeah.
Like those moments. And I had to do the hustle. Well, for me, that was a couple of calls to sell a couple of packages. What was it for you though to, you know, like, I know you get out there and networking. I see you around and everywhere.
That's the main one, I would say, networking, and I'm building that network. But I think now also it's a lot to do with the reputation that we're building as well. So because of we have some wonderful clients that we've worked with in the past, they're now our champions too. And they also go out and they say, if they hear someone needs a PR agency and they're at an event, they're also turning around and saying, oh, I have a great agency, NikNak PR. I used to work with them, or I work with them. You should give them a call. So it's kind of snowballed a little bit. Like at first it was definitely me out at events, networking my little butt off. And I was literally making sure that I was getting my name out there, telling people what I do, asking them, showing them and being like, this is what I, you know, making those case studies essentially. And now definitely I can see that it's definitely coming to a point where it's with, you know, I still do that. I still at you know, every networking event, you'll see me probably, like, or someone that knows me I'll always be at them. And then also, as I say, it's not, I don't really do cold calling. I have done it in the past where I've like, kind of like, if I like a brand, I reach out and be like, I love your brand. Are you looking for PR? And then see if they say yes or not. But it's more because of the fact that if I love the brand, I just want to work.
You want to be part of it.
So I'm just going to try, you know, shoot your shot is the kind of thing that I kind of do. But I would say networking is definitely the main one.
Okay. A lot of people seem to think that fame is what it is what you need to be, you know, seen and noticed. But I don't necessarily think that actually gets the results just because you're famous.
No. I think also, like, anyone can go on social media and, you know, create a persona or do whatever. But I think, again, like, you really need the results to speak for themselves. And I really so I do obviously still get myself out there in order to, you know, help showcase what I do and how we do it. But again, I think the main thing is about finding the results and making sure that you get those results, because that is what's going to bring people back, or going to also, as I say, make them your ambassador essentially.
So you said you like to work with founders and entrepreneurs, and probably some solopreneurs out there as well.
Yeah.
So then what is a successful, like, what would they get from you? Like, not just, you know, you put them in some magazines and rah, but what are results?
Yeah.
You know, what's a good result for a brand new founder that's working with a PR agency? What are they wanting to achieve at the end of working with any sort of PR?
I think, like, if you're looking for a PR agency and you're a founder and you're looking to help build your brand, you really want to make sure that you're choosing, firstly, an agency that's able to work within the industry that you're in. So there's so many different types of PR. I mean, to be fair, like, you know, it's kind of transferable skills. However, it is about relationships and what media you know as well. So, you know, finding the right PR agency is the first step. Secondly, for me, like when we do our work with entrepreneurs, a lot of it starts with, of course, we want to make sure that one, you're getting in the right publications. But again, we really find it so important that we build the profile of the founder as well, mainly because the fact that people buy from people, and it's really about, and no one can tell a story or their story better than the founder of their brand. So that is one of the things that we really look to also do. And I think that's such an important part that shouldn't be neglected or something. And I know with founders, it can be difficult sometimes because like you are shy, you don't want to tell your story, or you know, you have, again, they also have imposter syndrome sometimes. Yeah. And as I say, you know, you have to push them sometimes. Sometimes you need to give them a little nudge.
Throw them off the cliff.
You can do this.
But why a publication? What does that give a founder?
Yeah. So I think when it comes to publication, so I mean, at the end of the day, so to put it into context, when you're looking through, say you're flipping through a magazine, or, you know, you're on Instagram and you see, you know, okay, I've got an ad that comes up on Instagram, and then I keep scrolling, and then you see someone has posted that they've written an article in, you know, Forbes or Entrepreneur or, you know, Madame Arabia or whatever, depending on, you know, and you see this person, you read the article and you turn around and you're like, oh, that's some really interesting insights. I really like that. And then you keep scrolling, and then you see a listicle essentially of like top 10 whatever, and you're scrolling through it and you see that person's brand in there, like, oh, I just read an article on that person. Oh, okay, now I see their product. Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, I really should look on their website. Again, sometimes, but maybe they do go on the website, maybe they don't. They continue scrolling, right? And you keep going. And then again, they see, you know, an influencer using the product. And then they're like, oh yeah, I've seen the article, I've seen this, now I'm seeing this. I really should go. And it's about helping to build that awareness. And that's kind of where what we want to do. We want to put you across different platforms, so you're constantly being seen, so it keeps that recall. And the reason we do that also is because of the fact that, you know, scroll culture has dramatically like reduced our attention spans. So apparently they say that we are now worse than goldfish. Which, you know, goldfish don't have a very strong attention span, so we're not doing great, guys. Yeah. We might need to look into that. But it's one of those things where we need to make sure that we're capturing constantly and finding different ways to make sure that you're getting coverage. So definitely having multiple platforms also is where I'd say every entrepreneur should be looking to have for their PR.
Yeah, I kind of look at it as in you're giving people credibility.
Yeah.
And well, firstly, more exposure. And secondly, I think after exposure comes the credibility. Yeah. And, you know, even when we teach it in the masterminds and things like that, you need 9 to 12 touch points with someone. And that's what you're creating for people. 100%. And as you say, it's the recall effect, where you just keep popping in someone's mind, and then they get that curiosity that sends them to the brand to then start maybe scrolling through at the first article or even your Instagram. Then they're like, oh, what else is she selling, or what else has she got? What is she doing? What is she wearing? And that curious, and then, you know, potentially they buy something or
and that's the thing, credibility is such a big thing as well, because also, like, let's be fair, when you see an ad, you're like, bad. Like, I'm like, of course you're saying you're the best because it's an ad, right? Where we bring the credibility is because it's not the brand saying it, it's somebody else.
Yep.
So it's, you know, the influencer or the magazine who are putting them in as a thought leader. That's giving them credibility. Why would they publish them if they weren't a credible source, correct?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's, again, it's building that credibility in different ways as well.
And layered,
exactly.
Yeah, I like it. So one of the things you say in your bio is that you're a no-fluff company. So what does that mean?
So no-fluff is, like, at the end of the day, we really want to make sure that when it comes to PR, we're going to be doing it in order to actually get you results. And, you know, PR agencies, like, we can definitely, you know, we are very wordy because that's our job. Our jobs are words, and, you know, creating this image. And so we're very good at that creativity. But what we want to do is make sure that it's actually aligned with what your business is. And we really want to make sure that we're not just doing something for the sake of doing it. We're not stepping on a trend just because the trend's there. If it doesn't make sense for your business, we're not doing it. And also for me, like I like to lead in a way that we're very honest with our clients, and we also want to be seen as an extension of your team. So even though we are an agency, even though we are, you know, individuals, when you are messaging us or we are interacting with you, you feel that we are integrated within your company as a part of that company. And with that, I will push back if you ask me to do something and I don't think it's going to work, or I think it's not an angle that works for you, I will tell you.
And that's good, right? That's literally why someone wants you on their team, to give them the left and right of arc, and to, you know, remove all that time wasted on things that don't work.
Well,
it's impact.
I'm the expert in my industry, and I don't expect me to tell you how to run your business.
Yeah.
So don't ask me how to run mine. So it's, or in not sense of run mine, but you know, do your PR. If like you hire me to do your PR, trust that I know what I'm doing, and that's the reason why you've hired me, right?
Yeah.
And I will make sure that we get you the results that you want, because that's what our job is. And again, I'm making sure that I'm building your reputation. By building your reputation, that builds mine.
Yeah, I love that. It's really good. And it's, you know, like part of, I think your website or somewhere I read is that you're no fluff because you want to give people impact.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And I think you definitely said that quite well. What do you think makes someone mediable?
Mediable.
Don't say that 5 times.
Yeah. I don't think I can say it once. So it really depends. I mean, obviously they need to be able to,
because you work with a lot of different brands.
I do.
Right? Like from, you know, as we've said, entrepreneurs and founders, but like the type of industries is what I mean.
Yeah.
It's quite spread for you, right? You don't stick on, you know, primarily service industries or niche down on a specific product.
No.
Because having seen some of your clients, the spread is real.
Yeah, the spread is real. We're not picky. No, we are. We do. No, the thing is, like, as I say, like PR is transferable. So like, but it's about the relationships.
Yeah.
But I think, so when it comes to PR, there's obviously certain things are a lot easier to PR than other things.
And people too, right? Some people.
Yeah, some
people. So do you turn people away?
I do, yes. If I don't think it's a right fit, or I don't think I'm going to be able to do the job it deserves, I will turn around and say, I don't think I'm the right fit for you. And it's never because, and most of the time it's not because of the fact that I don't think you're PRable. I just don't think I can PR you because I don't have the skill set that you need. Because other agencies are experts in, say, automotive or, you know, fitness. I mean,
different industries.
Yeah, so it really depends on the industry.
But also, don't you think personality and the dynamic and values matter as well with who you're working with?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I mean, honestly, like values is such a big thing as well. Like if I don't feel that our values are aligned, I won't be working with you either. You know, it's one of those things where I have to, at the end of the day, like this agency is an extension of me. And if I work with somebody that I don't like have the same values as, it then makes it look like I'm diluting my own values. And so I don't want to be that person. Like I stick very strongly with who I am. And my agency is, as I say, an extension of me. And it very much is, like everything about my agency is my personality. So so as I say, it's no fluff. I am quite a straight talker, but also at the same time, like I am friendly. I do love to have a laugh. I do create an environment where I want my clients to feel like we're friends as well, and we can have a chat, and like it's not all business. Yeah, I'm not that kind of person. If you want someone that's all business, corporate, they're just gonna sit there and like write their meeting notes and just listen to you talk. That's not me. I'm gonna make a joke. I'm gonna have fun.
Yeah, but you know, based on what I've seen as well, you actually go to these events where you're living in that moment, so you're naturally going to attract those people, right? And that's why you've got such great clients.
100%, yeah. And I do think, it's like a law of attraction essentially, and I think the people know that, the people know that like you attract the people that you want, and you attract the things. And I very much like believe in that, like manifestation, energies, all that stuff. I 100% believe in that as well. And so maybe it's a bit like foo-foo or whatever they say, but I honestly feel like if you have positive energy comes back to you tenfold, and like whatever you put out into the universe will come back to you tenfold. So I want to live my life in a way that's positive, and I work with clients that inspire me and can push me as well and make me do things that are different or interesting and new. Like I want to have that, and I enjoy finding people that are like that.
Have you ever had to fire a client? Or wrap it up?
I have done, yes.
Okay.
I have done, yes. Again, mainly because when it comes to PR, it's like dating. Your agency is like you're dating someone. So you're literally going into it and it's about your relationship as well. As I say, PR is about relationships all over the place.
Yeah.
Your relationship with the client, the relationship with media, relationship with influencers, relationship with, everything. So when you're coming into relationships, like at first, sometimes you can feel like, oh yes, it's going to be a good fit. And as you work together, sometimes you can see that, okay, we're not maybe what you were looking for, or maybe you feel, or I feel that the values aren't actually aligned in what you're looking for. Or actually, sometimes, as you know, people don't know what PR is. So they actually have different expectations that then I don't provide for. And then there's that element of, okay, I don't think I'm the right fit for you because of those things.
People worry about doing PR too because they maybe not be, media savvy, but you can coach them on those sorts of things.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Everyone can be media trained. It's not difficult. It takes some people, it depends on the personality. Some people are obviously more introverted, some more extroverted. But again, it really just depends. And a lot of the time you can do things like written word. You don't have to actually speak to anybody. So it can be easier for those people that aren't as media facing or feel comfortable talking live on say a podcast or whatever. But again, as you say, you can train people. Like we definitely say to our clients, like if you're going to do a face-to-face, let's practice it. Like we'll have I will interview you and we can have a chat, and it makes you more comfortable, so that you then, when you go up on, say if they go on stage or go to the podcast, they already feel like they have something in their head to say.
Okay. And are there any no-nos that things you shouldn't do?
Yeah, they do. There's obviously the standard, like
some tips for us.
Yeah. There's a standard, don't say anything that you're gonna regret. Make sure that you have your list of things that are like, okay, these are like the things I shouldn't say. These are the things I want to say. Make sure you're getting your messaging across. So the first one obviously would be, make sure you know the point of going on that podcast and what you want to convey.
What's your outcome?
Yeah. What's the outcome? Like at the end of the day, what are you going on that podcast for? What are you trying to explain to people? What is going to be your story that you're telling? And then of course, you want to make sure that if you're saying anything off the record, you tell them it's off the record, and then they can obviously use it. And then of course, it's making sure you have your facts. So it's well. So if you're gonna make a statement, make sure you're allowed to say it.
Yep.
So sometimes there's announcements or launches. If it's upcoming and it's not something you can disclose, do not tell people.
Yeah, of course.
But it's about knowing. It's preparing. Be prepared. Just make sure you have the time. Take your time to do the questions, go through them. But again, don't over rehearse, because also you don't want to be sat there being monotone. You literally can see that person's memorized the answer and they're speaking it out.
Can you tell I'm not rehearsed, seeing as it's been like 5
I'm not rehearsed. I have no idea what I'm blabbing on.
Yep. All right. Tell me a little bit, where do you see NikNak in, the future, but let's go 5 years.
Yeah, so with NikNak, honestly, we work within the GCC anyway, but I would love to obviously start building more in KSA, Qatar, Bahrain. I think also having people on the ground there.
Yeah.
So obviously we have our office based here in Dubai, but I think it's starting to build that kind of outwards and be more in the region and kind of really standing in that. Obviously building the team, continue to expand them, grow with them, and just continue working in amazing events. And to be fair, also one of the things I really want to start working in more is event PR. I absolutely love doing event PR. I find it so fascinating and so interesting. So definitely think that would be something that we'd start moving towards as
Cool.
an arm of PR.
Yeah.
For us, it wouldn't be a be all or end all. It would definitely be just one of the pillars that we do.
One department there.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, you're in the place where there is events every day.
Yeah.
Multiple events. Okay. Is there anything about this industry that you think people don't really tell people?
It's not as glamorous as people think is the main one. I think people think, as I say, that we're going to parties, we're going to the launches of these new restaurants every day. And actually, most of the time, as I said, we are a middleman a lot of the time. It is a lot of emailing. You're sat there on email.
And going from event to event.
As well, supporting your clients. And it is a lot of back and forth. And you are doing a lot of that. So it's not as glamorous as they think. I think if you're going to go into, it's a lot of work as well. PR is not rocket science. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, it is one of those things where it's like anyone can do it, but it is a lot of work, and building the skills and building those relationships is really important. And if you're going to be going into this industry, you need to make sure that you are confident enough to build those relationships, because that's what people look for in this industry. Like, when people hire PR or are hiring people in for their agencies, they are asking you, who do you know? Who, if you needed to get coverage tomorrow, who would you message? Who would you talk to? Why would you talk to them? Like, and like, what are your relationships like? And that is the main thing, essentially.
So your little black book is a big black book.
Yeah.
Filled with names. Now, you know, you've said words matter, manifestation, law of attraction. So I'm going to throw this out there and put you on the spot.
Go for it.
You mentioned you'd like to expand into Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, or somewhere. Which one first?
KSA. I would say KSA first.
When?
I'm going to say I'd like to do it within the next 2 years, if not sooner. But I definitely, like, it's one of those things where I really want to establish myself here first as well, and then be able to make sure that when we go into Saudi, I have the relationships again, like, and building that there. Like, again, as they say, it's all about your network. And KSA is very similar to how the UAE is. Like, they're all about their relationships as well, if not more. And like, they do really want people that are going to be on the ground, investing in the country and being a part of the country. I have lived in Saudi before, so I've been there. I was there 5 years before I lived in Dubai. So I have lived there, just so you guys know. Just keep that in mind. So for me, like, it wouldn't be a massive transition to go back. But again, also I'd need to make sure that I have the agency set up here enough for me to be able to kind of, I guess in a way, move to Saudi to set up the business there and build that there as well. Because I would want to be on the ground. I wouldn't want it to be that, oh, someone else is doing it. Because again, it is one of those things, when it's yours, I don't know if you're feeling the same, but when it's yours, you're like, me, I want to do it. It's like, it's my baby. I need to take care of it and like watch it and be fully integrated. So that's just how I feel. But
okay. Well, it's still 2 years away, maybe, hopefully only 12 months away.
Yeah.
That sounds exciting to me. All right. I like to end my podcast with the rapid fire 10 questions.
Okay, sure. Oh, God.
Okay. Well, I feel like the first question we've already answered. I may change it, but here we go.
Go for it.
If not Dubai, where in the world?
Well, Saudi for business, but for personal, I would probably say Italy.
So jealous already. Okay, well then, if not PR, what would you be doing?
Probably events. Yeah.
You've got this passion for the events.
I do love events, honestly. I do love them.
One person you'd really love to work with, or a brand?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. Formula One. I don't even know why I thought I even paused on that one.
Oh, really?
Formula One, 100%. I'm obsessed.
Let's make that happen.
Yeah.
Proudest moment since launching NikNak?
Having the two girls that work with me at the minute. They're fabulous. Honestly, I love you guys. Love you, Mira and Tanya.
Best piece of advice you've ever been given?
I think I've also been told, you can do it. Just do it. I think that's the main one. And I think the best piece of advice is don't listen to anybody else.
Stay true to you, right?
Yeah.
I know, because it really, that's one of the biggest things I often say. It throws you off. Like, you have something in mind and then you get these little things in your ear, and then suddenly, instead of going, straight, you've kind of vered off a little bit. And then it takes a while to come back again.
And that's the thing, like, what works for somebody else doesn't necessarily work for you. And you shouldn't, just because, obviously people do paths, right? And they have like their paths to how they're building something, and it will be working for them. It doesn't mean it will work for you.
No. What do people get wrong about you?
Oh, I think people think I'm really extroverted. I'm actually not.
Are you not?
I'm really introverted. I'm very good at being extroverted when I'm in front of people, and like I'm what they call an introverted extrovert, or there is a new word like autrovert or something like that.
There is a new, I don't know what it is.
I can't remember what the word is, but I'm that, because I will be able to turn it on and I can be out and I will talk to people. As soon as I come home, I'm like, nobody talk to me. I want to lie on my couch, and like, that was really draining.
Your social battery is completely
My social battery is
dead.
gone.
Tell me, have you done the Myers-Briggs personality test?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you should so do that, because then you'll see all that.
Okay, yeah.
That extrovert, introvert. Yeah, do that. That's fun. Thoughts on AI? Do you think it's a threat, tool, or it's overhyped?
I think it's a tool used right. I am at a point, though, that I'm not really, pleased about the fact that we're destroying the earth more for something. So for me, it's one of those things where I think we have to use it, but using it sensibly. And also when it comes to PR, like it's a tool, but not to be used for our full job. So when we are writing it with our own selves. Like we don't use it. Like, if you're using it, yes, you can write a press release on AI. It's wrong. Just so you know, guys, like if you're out there trying to write a press release and you're sending it to media and it's not landing, that's why. Yeah. Because it's not right.
And the algorithms pick up on it these days.
Exactly.
Anyway.
And it is very much like, I think, but yes, it's a tool, but you have to use it wisely, like anything.
Last thing that genuinely surprised you.
Oh God, I actually don't know. I don't know what's
the quick drive here.
I'm honestly one of those people that I guess this is something else that people don't really know about me. I'm super anxious, and I also very paranoid as a person. So really? I automatically assume the worst all the time.
Do you?
So I literally I always have it in my head. Okay, if this happened, this is what I would do. If this happened, this is what I do. So I'm never really too surprised because I just have already made the assumption at some point. I'm like, that could happen.
Well, that's good because that means you're flexible.
Yeah, exactly.
You can adapt.
I'm ready to go. And that's the thing. It's like we're definitely ready, like agile. We're like, okay, this has happened. Like we're ready to go. Okay, we changed the tactic. We'll go.
Yes, that's good. That's a great quality. One thing every founder needs to hear before hiring a PR agency.
Yeah, so making sure that you do your due diligence of choosing an agency that's actually going to work for you.
Last question. The unstoppable 5%. Are you one of them?
100%.
Damn right you are.
Damn right I am.
Anything else you want to share with the audience today?
No, actually, it's honestly been such a great time to be on the podcast. So thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, well, appreciate learning a little bit more about PR and how it works for people or maybe doesn't work for people. And, it opens people's eyes to decide whether it's something that they want to do to project their business a little bit more for credibility and exposure, which I think are the two key ones. Choosing the right person for you obviously matters because words matter as well.
100%.
But I appreciate you coming and joining us in Abu Dhabi today.
Yeah,
looking forward to seeing your expansion.
Thank you.
And for everyone else at home, look forward to seeing you on the next episode.